I always play the stream for a little bit until I hear my own voice. And I was playing it, and I'm like, okay, it's nothing's happening. Oh, there he is. Now we got sound. All right.
Hello.
Hello. Testing. Check.
All
yeah,
right.
Christine says okay. Yes.
All right. So
Okay,
we're gonna kick it
from the
We're
top.
gonna hit the rewind button. All right. Hello, everybody. How you guys doing tonight? Tonight, as always, I got my lovely co-host, Filia Noctis.
Hello, my Nectophiliacs.
And then we got Mina. And our very special guest and a very good friend of mine. We got Danie Dreadful tonight. Hey,
Hello.
Danie, how are you doing?
Hello, how are you? I hope you're doing well.
So glad to have you here tonight.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here.
Sorry about last week. You know, little nasty. I can't say it this time. I said it last time. I can't say it this time. Ida.
Ida decided she wanted to roll in and just mess everyone up. She was definitely the Karen of hurricanes.
No, it's fine. I'm just glad that everybody's okay.
So
I think we will survive. Well, what the fuck am I saying?
I'm pretty sure
I
we'll
live
all
west
survive.
of the Mississippi. I'm fine.
So, since it is 9/11, we wanted to, just do a moment of silence.
Yes.
Oh, we should have had some music.
You
Some
got
patriotic music.
Yeah.
Patriotic music.
I don't have patriotic music.
All right, that's enough of that.
For those of you,
You're sitting there for an entire minute without talking.
I know that was like dead. I'm like dead air. I think everybody here is old enough to remember that 20 years ago today we had a terrorist attack in New York and Pennsylvania and Washington, and we lost way too many people in that.
Yeah.
And
when I was
saying back then, never again.
Never forget. Never forget. Never again.
Yeah, and I was in New Jersey at the time.
Oh my God.
How terrifying.
We could see the smoke coming out. Like, I was in 6th grade at the time. I just remember I was in the office dropping off the attendance sheet, and it was like, it's such a vivid memory. And just like, I remember seeing my English teacher in there hysterical crying, and then like they were like, go back to your class. 5 minutes later, they made an announcement. They evacuated our school because they didn't know what was going on yet. And then we all just went home that day, and it was just such a devastating day. Just seeing the smoke from our school, it was so scary. And Not a fun memory.
No, not a fun memory.
We heard about it a little bit later because,
my husband and I my present husband and I had just gotten engaged. And
So
he sent me a message and he said, I'm with my captain. Well, he's former military, so I'm like, which captain? Your police captain or your military captain? I did not know.
So I was a freshman. I was a freshman in high school when that happened. And I get to school and we walk into my homeroom and immediately, like, my spidey senses just went off. Like, there was a TV in the room which wasn't ever there. The teacher just had the somber look on their face, and I'm like, "What the hell happened?"
Yeah.
That was my words to my teacher. What the hell happened? And he just looked at me, and he's just like, and he told me what happened because I was the first person in the homeroom, and then people started rolling in, and they turned the TV on, and we saw like the news caption, and almost immediately after that they packed us back in the buses and sent us back home, and I'm just like, damn, because I it's like. The second I walked into that room, I could just feel like the sorrow that was oozing off of him, and I'm just like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think any of us thought we were going to be staying at work because we were a government facility, and most of us were packed into the conference rooms watching the television, looking for information and trying to find out what was going on. And I didn't even know what was going on originally because I was heading to my class. I had a college class I was taking. I got there and they said, we're not having class today, and this is why. And watching the television going, oh my God, this is real. This is really real.
Yeah.
So, interesting fact I learned the other day. We talked to my sister about this. I had family that worked both in the Pentagon and one of the towers, and for some reason or another, they were either late getting to work or they just had to call out that day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, holy crap.
That's so crazy. My uncle, he worked in the towers, and he did not go to work that day for whatever reason either. It's so crazy. It just, I don't know.
It's like you just cashed in all your I'm an absolute lucky motherfucker chips right there. You just that's it. That's all you get.
Yeah.
Well,
don't play the lottery anytime soon.
September 11th always had a different meaning in my family. My grandmother was born on September 11th, 1907. So September 11th was always Grandma's birthday. And she, of course, was the matriarch of our family. Mm-hmm. And 1907, that's a long freaking time ago.
Yeah.
And her last birthday was my gram. Her last birthday was September 11th, 2001.
I hate that had to be one of the last things she saw.
I just read the chat for a second, and in Infinite Psychosis says he apparently almost died during that time.
I am so glad you're still with us, Infinite.
Yes, we are very glad you're still with us. But my grandmother, survived another 2 months after 9/11, and she did, manage to see the Arizona Diamondbacks win the World Series. So, she was very happy about that. And my stepfather, his birthday is September 12th. Mm. So we've always tried, even after 2001, we've always tried to keep those days as positive as possible. Life still has to go on.
Well, that's one of the things that we, after Ida, it's like we get connection back to the world I know you guys heard a little bit from me during that time period because I was getting spotty internet, and we were charging phones like crazy here. But it's like the world around you, when something like that happens, it stops. And then when you get reconnected to the world, it's like, holy cow, the world just kept going like we were, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
It's like that when you come out of a coma, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband's like, what the hell? You reconnect to the world and it went on without us.
Yeah.
You know? My grandmother died. I had the same feeling. It was just like everything stopped. Why didn't everything stop? Because it should have stopped. My mother died, same thing. It's those events in our lives that we feel like everything should just stop.
Everything should stop, yeah.
But the world keeps going, even though our personal world, that first world that people talk about, our personal world stops. But everything else keeps moving.
Remember when Mom died? One of my friends, I knew he had a bunch of shit to do the next day, but he just he invited me over to his house and we watched movies, and we didn't even talk. We just sat there and watched movies, and it's like my world has just stopped, and another human being has decided, you know what? It's gonna stop my world for this person too. So that was one of those kindnesses that you just don't forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he wasn't forcing you to talk and, do those uncomfortable, let's examine your feelings things. He would just,
yeah, are you okay?
Just the comfort of knowing there's another human being there.
Yeah.
In case you do want to say something.
I don't know. He knew I would talk when I was ready, but he was just like, whatever, we'll just chill.
Yeah. That's a good friend.
Yeah, that's a great friend. So Danie,
shall we shout? Oh, I was gonna say let's shout out the chat real quick.
Oh, okay.
Before we get in with Danie, and then we can
get on to more joyful things.
Yeah. And all of you people that are lurking, type a hi in there. There are a lot of you lurking. You lurkers, say hi to us so we can say hi back.
I'm gonna let you do the first one because she's yours.
Right.
My Chris. It's my Chris. My Christine Baker. Hello, my love. I hope you are doing well today.
We have the
what the
evil.
Hell? Everybody just disappeared off my participants list.
Okay. We got Furberries.
What's up, Furberries? Or as I like to call them, Furbies. Or as I like to call them, Furbies.
We've got Infinite Psychosis.
We got Is.
He is. Furberries. I always want to call you fur babies. I don't know why. Everybody calls you Furbies, but I call you Furberries. Fur babies. Furbies works too.
Yeah, everybody wants to call them Furberries or fur babies, and I just the first time I saw his name, I'm like, it's a Furby.
I think I met Furberries at Gothic Roses premiere. I think that's the first place I met.
I saw him in one of the YouTube chats, and for the longest time, I thought it was a female, which I had the same problem last week with someone else. Derringer. I thought Derringer was a girl.
No, Derringer is definitely not female.
I know. And I feel bad because it's like, Filia, you need to either start paying attention to the people that you're listening to and actually connect voice and name or something. Make a list. Yeah, I don't know.
And this is something that we've talked about, I think, in Discord, is until somebody tells me, I mean, some people's voices don't sound like their genders. Just saying. Because I've met some guys who sound like they're female, and I've met some females who sound like they're male. But, yeah, I don't care, really, because they're a person. I'm not worried about what gender they are so much as that they're a person, they're a human being. They have feelings. I think that's something a lot of people forget.
Humans have feelings?
I think that's something a lot of people forget when they're online. They forget that people have feelings and people have emotions, and that you can hurt somebody that's you're talking to that's online.
God, they're real people?
There's a body behind that computer.
I just assumed they were all bots.
No. That's that's Amber Turd. I mean, hey, according to her, everybody on YouTube that is on Twitter that is not on her side is a bot. Just letting you guys know, you're all bots.
Okay. Against who? I didn't even know this person. Amber
Heard.
Amber Heard.
Oh, you mean Johnny Depp's ex?
Yeah.
Piece of trash?
The piece of trash. That's why I said Amber Turd, because of the turd.
Well, yeah, I wasn't connecting, but yeah, I know who you're talking about. Ugh, she's just nasty.
Yes, she is.
Nasty. She's
But-
hoggish.
You're a bear, not a bot.
No, you're a Furby.
You're gonna get in the fridge
Get your
soon.
Furby ass over here.
He's gonna put himself in the fridge soon because he's a body. He needs to go in the refrigerator.
He's just occupying this particular body right now, and he needs to keep it in the fridge because
I used
they
to
only
tell
stay fresh for so long.
I used to tell people that I'm electrical pulse, and I'm only here just to talk to you all, and I don't have a physical form, so therefore I can't actually meet any of you. And then we went to Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I made a physical form just so that I took it out of an ATM machine, and just so I could go to Rocky Horror. We had fun with that. So, Danie, tell us about you and your channel.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am Danie Dreadful. I am a horror narrator. I've been around for about a year, but honestly, I took a little bit of a hiatus, and I've been really active in the last 2 to 3 months. And I just narrate creepypastas and horror stories. I even did a horror novella for my Sunday Scary series. It was a 3-part book, basically, with a horror book from Scott Donnelly. And what else? Let's see. And also, I do write my own originals. I have a few on there right now, and I'm hoping to get some more. And then for the month of October, I will be uploading 31 days. So for 31 days of Halloween. So it's a very aggressive month for me. I'm very excited. And hopefully it'll gain some more subscribers and a bigger following from doing that.
Awesome. I'm going to have to find the novella. I didn't find the novella when I was...
Good luck with that, honey. You are going to be so tired.
I
I already started recording for October now.
I was doing...
I had no idea you were a horror narrator. Gasp. Sorry. Sarcasm.
I was doing two uploads a week last October, and it was killing me. So this October, I'm not going to be that... Well, I'm having trouble getting anything up on my channel right now. So, we're going to... What gets up will get up.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sweat it either.
Having trouble getting it up. That's what she
Hi,
said.
Lily. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Hey,
Welcome,
Lily.
Lily.
How are you doing?
Lily, was it you that was having an anniversary, birthday, something today? Saw something, and I don't know if it was you or somebody else. We love Lily.
We love Lily's eyes. I would like to pluck them out and wear them periodically. I mean, I love my black eyes too, but sometimes I would like to have her blue eyes. They're like just blue eyes.
Danie, I'm going to ask this, and you don't have to answer it. Because I'm looking at your picture. And we've actually got 3 different pictures of you up right now.
That's not really you, is it? You're really not that gorgeous, are you?
She really is. She really is.
That is her.
God damn it.
Stop.
I am so sick of you beautiful young girls coming into the here or narrators.
Oh, I am not that young. I am. It's just, good lighting, makeup.
Photoshopping? Okay. Airbrushing.
I've already.
Oh,
I already told her the second.
I don't know how to airbrush my photos. That's one thing. But I'll use like a filter now and then. But no, I don't know how to like use like those cool airbrushing things to like make your nose look smaller or your lips look bigger. I'm just like, eh. But then there are some filters that completely change your face, and I don't like those because I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like it's giving girls a complex, like, oh, I should be looking like this.
Well,
so I try to stay away from them.
Been that way for years.
You remember the girl who quote unquote turned herself completely plastic, and she looked
The Barbie girl or something. Yeah, the Barbie and Ken. I know. It's
no, this one was in the Middle East, and she actually got to where she looked very skeletal. But then it came out that it was all photoshopped.
So you can ask Lily. It was shortly after we started talking, and I was like, you know what? You're a very pretty person. I'm gonna have to just protect you because there's some weirdos that are gonna fucking see that and they're just gonna perv on you hardcore. So PA protect.
Yeah, and also I do
You're gonna
try
tell
to
me you're not gonna let me steal people's eyes. You're gonna stop me.
You cannot do anything to Danie until after she's expired.
Expired.
Do you have Native
That
American
can be
blood?
arranged.
I do not. No, I'm actually Italian, Irish, and German.
Okay.
Okay, that explains
Okay.
it.
I'm Irish, Scottish, Native American, and German.
Nice. Yeah.
I always joke around with people and say that they combine the world's worst tempers into me, and I'm just like, yep, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, because when you go off, you go off.
I love the color of your hair.
Right?
Thank
Because it's
you.
dark, but it's got the plum on it.
Yes, it was. So I've been. All right. So here's a fun story about. For my birthday last year, about like in January, I decided I wanted to treat myself because during the pandemic I wasn't really going out. I didn't want to go to a hair salon or anything. Just trying to stay safe. So I let my hair go for like a few months, and then I finally decided on my birthday, January 20th, I was gonna go get my hair done and get a nice haircut. And long story short, I go in, the girl completely butchered my hair. So from January until 2 weeks ago, my hair was just kind of like growing out and I didn't do anything to it. So I was like, screw it, I want to go purple. I just want purple hair. I work from home, it goes with my Danie Dreadful theme. My favorite color is purple, so I'm just going to go for it. And I went to the girl that I originally went to. She's about an hour and a half away, so I wasn't going to make the trip. It was a 6-hour process, but I think it was totally worth it. So
it looks wonderful.
Thank you.
Your
I
hair looks
really
fantastic.
love it because, as a lady, like, when you feel good about yourself, it's just so different. Because for like a year, I was just working from home and just not feeling like my normal self. That's kind of why I took a hiatus too. Just a lot of stress with work. And then I was like, you know what? I'm feeling good. I'm getting back on my narrating. Made a lot of good friends in the community. So I owe it to my hair, I think. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
So what colors did she use?
So she used. Yeah, so I have in Velvet, which is the dark purple, and then Jam, which is the light magenta color.
Nice.
I love it.
Did she do it in
Also-
2 different stages, or did she just like highlight kind of?
So she did like a balayage where basically she hand paints your hair. and then she
Yeah.
did it in sections. I have a lot of hair, so that's why it took so long. At first, my hair is like super dark too, so she had to bleach it first, and then she had to put the
Right,
color
right.
over it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am right now. I have very dark hair too, and I'm
Mhm.
getting ready to redo my hair because
Nice.
during COVID and everything. So right now I'm in the weird whitish kind of
I'm
Also,
gonna need to get somebody
weird
over
colored-
here to help me do mine.
colored sage.
I just want to slide in here and be like, if anybody's not subscribed to Danie, please do so. She's literally 2 away from 150.
Thank you. Thank
I'll
you
throw
so
that out
much.
We are
there.
115.
And Danie,
150,
150.
50. Yeah.
Oh, because the
Yeah.
picture says 113.
Yeah. But
The-
she got a lot of subscribers since then.
yeah, you have to
Okay.
remember I took that
In the
picture
chat,
for
not
last
subscribed.
week's show.
Oh, that's right. That's right. In the chat, if you're not subscribed, we need to do that.
Please
I was
do.
like, I'm just gonna
Let me
slide on in here and be
Maybe.
like, you need to subscribe to her because you won't be disappointed.
It is pinned up
thank
there
you.
with her Twitter and her Instagram, but I'm gonna put it in right now too, if I
Thank
can.
you. Yeah, I was very surprised. So I guess I don't know if everybody else goes through this, but like we check our numbers constantly, and I know I've been checking my numbers constantly because as soon as I hit 100, I was like, okay, great, now I want to get to 200, and then after 200, it's like I want to get to
Oh.
300.
At
Yeah.
100,
So speaking about your 100, have you gone into your the YouTube and gotten your custom URL yet?
I have a custom URL.
Once
you can get
hit
one.
Yeah,
at
once you hit
100.
100
Oh.
subscribers, you can go in and you can get your custom URL. That way, it's
Oh,
easier for
nice.
people to find you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I did not know that. Like
They
I said, I'm still so new to this.
They
So-
should have sent you an email, but sometimes they don't. So you have
Okay.
to look in studio to find it. But
My jelly bean?
jelly beans
Yeah.
here.
Cool,
Yes.
cool. I'll have to look into that then. That's really cool.
And,
Yes.
and if my jelly bean's here, that means my Ray's not too far behind. That's right. I've claimed both of them.
Yeah, that way you can tell people that you're
Danie Dreadful.
Yes.
yeah, you're like youtube.com/c/.
Danie.
DannyDeadfroll.com.
Cool. Awesome.
Where did where did the name come from? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so I like that show Penny Dreadful, and my full name is Danielle, so I was like, Danielle Dreadful just sounds too long, but my friends call me Danie, so I was like, that has a really good ring to it, like Danie Dreadful. And also just like because I wanted to do something like DD, like something that kind of like played into to each other, so
Mhm.
and I just really I thought it had a good ring to it, and so now I just say like bringing the most dreadful tales to life or something, things like that. And yeah, that's pretty much how the name happened. It was my husband and I were kind of sitting there just playing around with names, and I think I was gonna we were listening to that. I really like that song by AFI called Miss Murder, but I was like, I don't know if I want to be called Miss Murder. And then he was like, how about like he threw out a few things, and I was like, no, I want something with my name in it though. So then I came up with this. Yeah.
So Danie, I don't know if you noticed, but whenever I promoted the show on Instagram, I used the theme music from Penny Dreadful.
I know. It's perfect.
Yeah, Penny Dreadful originally was almost like comic stories. They were short stories that were horror stories.
Yeah,
that,
they were sold for a penny.
They were sold for a half penny.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, I did a whole-
crap paper.
I did a whole thing on it on Horror Honeys. We were talking about where they came from and everything. There's actually a Penny Dreadful website that has some of the old stories on it, which is kind of cool. Thank you, Lily, for joining the Nevermore Collective.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, yes.
But I think Danie Dreadful sounds great.
I love
I do
the
too.
name.
I also like alliterations.
Mhm.
Oh, so
And I-
fun fact, guys. Danny's like, I really hope to get to 100 by the end of the year, and I'm just like, bitch, please, I'm gonna get you to 100 by the end of the month.
Yeah, and he like seriously, like I was blown away because I was at how many was I at when I met you, PA? Like 20 something, 30 maybe.
Yes,
And I was like, yeah, I had like a very low expectation. I was like, okay, I want to get to 100 by the end of the year. And he just laughed at me. He's like, okay, calm down. This is going to happen. But also Dr. Grimm did help me a lot too.
Yeah.
But PA, you guys have been like awesome. And just everyone in the community has been amazing. Everyone's been so nice and just sharing my stuff and retweeting. I'm new to Twitter, so bear with me, please.
I literally just pumped out her to anyone I didn't think was subscribed, or I just sent a link. I think I sent like 40 people freaking her link, and it was like people I haven't even talked to in like 4 or 5 months, and that was the first message I've sent them, and I'm like, hey, subscribe, and then like she just watched the numbers roll.
I remember just seeing it and being like, holy crap, I'm at 100, and it was like a week later, and then I hit 120 the other day, and then I hit 140, and now I'm at 148. So it just keeps growing. It's amazing. One day, because I do wish to one day make this my everyday thing. I thoroughly enjoy narrating. I'm hoping to get into audiobook narrating as well. So, it's definitely fun, and I think the editing part is the least favorite part of mine. I love the narrating and meeting new people, but the editing, I could hire someone to do that eventually. That's like the first thing I'm gonna do.
I don't think I could give up maybe the audio editing. the visual editing I don't think I could give up personally.
Oh yeah, the visuals I definitely love. I'm getting better with my thumbnails for sure, but the audio editing, I'm just a little bit like, okay. I told my husband, I'm like, the first thing, if I ever get monetized, is I just want to hire someone to do my editing for me. So I can just read and be like, here you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly, Lily. I know we're on the same page with that. Burberry says he likes editing. Good job.
I like it sometimes, but I like seeing what it comes out to be.
Yes, yeah.
But I cringe when I have to listen to my own voice.
Oh, I'm the same way. I think that's, when you have to go back and listen to the whole thing like 4 or 5 times to make sure you didn't miss anything. It's like, do I have to listen to myself again? And then during the preview or the premieres, I'm usually like, I have to listen to myself again, but it's okay. But
yeah, it's like, and then you find where you messed up, and it's like,
yeah,
I thought I caught all of those.
Yeah.
Now what do I do?
So I had that actually happen.
Go.
I actually had that happen with my last video, where there was 3 mistakes in there, and I after the first 2, I was like, if there's one more mistake in this video, I'm tearing it down and I'm gonna put it back up when I get home. And the 3rd mistake happened, and sure enough, the second I tore it down, the second the premiere was over, and when I got it home, I put it back up.
Yep.
I am nothing if not a man of my word.
Yeah, I mean, the other day, for Thursday's last video, I usually, like, as I'm recording, what I do is, like, I take things out and, like, re-record over it, or I'll delete it. But I guess, like, I had not gone back far enough, so there were 2 lines of something, and I was like, I could kind of I was done editing, like, about to upload it into iMovie with all my visuals, and then I was like, I could kind of pass it off that it was, like, supposed to be a duplicated sentence, but I just didn't. I couldn't do that. So I went back in, I just re-edited it. It's like, oh darn, but it happens.
I pulled that right from her Twitter, though.
Yeah, you did bust my balls a little bit about a Dio, but like the second that 3rd mistake happened, it was doomed to be ripped down and put back up.
Yeah, I mean, I'd
cough 150. Cough 150.
Okay, the one that I'm having trouble getting up right now. That's so wrong.
That's what she said.
You've been giving me that all day. The one that I'm having so much trouble getting up, I thought it was just one word, but it was one crucial word that I missed at the beginning. So I had to find a way to get that in there. I found a way. I got it in there. And then I'm listening to it to make sure that I didn't miss anything else, and I did. And then there's another one, and I'm going, maybe I should have just re-recorded this whole damn thing.
So, on one of my last videos, the one I did of hair-raising narratives, I said purified instead of putrefied. And I'm just like, well, that one's we're just gonna hope no one notices that.
At least it wasn't petrified.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm just like...
No, it's actually really funny because nobody will notice the mistakes I make, but except my husband. He'll be, because he knows, we've been together for 9 years, so he knows me. And he's just like, the other day he was like, I can always tell, like, when you take a breath, like, when you're about to read, because, like, when we're talking in person, that's how you do it, too. So it was just really funny that he picks up on little things like that. Mm-hmm. And then and I wrote one of my own stories, and I guess I had said something that didn't really make sense, and I don't usually have him read anything. He's just as everyone else. He has to listen to it when it comes out. So I said he thought out loud to himself or something. And he's like, that kind of doesn't make too much sense. So I was like, you're right, but no one's going to notice, so just don't say anything in the comments.
I get giggles when somebody, and I've been listening to somebody doing Reddit stories lately, and it's funny when they're like, and I turn the corner, and they didn't take it out, and I'm going, edit.
So now you're going the completely opposite direction than you were going before. Yeah, I had a story that I left out an entire word, but the image that I put up right at that break was the image of the word that I left out. So nobody caught it but me and my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, but every time I watch that video, I'm like, God damn it.
Well, and I mean, that's the other thing is when it's your own writing, and that's the thing with this piece, it's my own writing.
Yeah.
When it's your own writing, you pick out things. Oh my gosh, I left this out. Oh my gosh, I left this. Oh my gosh, I said that word 4 times in a row. Oh my god,
Yeah.
But
I have this thing that I do where none of my stories ever match what's on paper on my channel anymore, because I'll just be reading it and then I'll just add random shit to the story, and I'm just like, well, that just happened, I suppose. And no one's ever noticed it, which is hilarious. No one's ever noticed that I've added entire paragraphs just to on the fly to stories, and no one who has heard the story before has noticed.
Well,
yeah.
And this was the problem, though, because the color red was crucial to the story, so I couldn't exactly leave it out.
Right, I get that. That's kind of, I don't.
She has red hair, and
yeah,
you kind of need to know that. Yes, redheads are evil and they have no souls. I know this. Peanut gallery.
It's kind of like what PA said. Like,
sometimes the redhead out of the lineup. You need to know that she's the redhead.
What was that, Danie?
Why is this?
Oh no, it's kind of like what you were saying before, like how you just kind of make up paragraphs on the fly. I did that with my last story. What was it? The Shy One, I believe. No, Bloody Mary. There was a part in there that wasn't even written down, and I just just went with it. And I was like, wow, I recorded it pretty well in the first try, so I guess we're keeping it in there.
What was
my God.
What was the number? Yeah, you know my videos better than I do. What number was that?
I don't remember.
I think it was number Mina Talks number 7. I wrote the intro to the and the outro, and I put nothing in the middle. No story. Nothing.
Oh.
It's still blank. And that was because I had been talking to Hood Horror, and Hood Horror, 90% of his things are right off the top of his head. And
Jelly.
I can't imagine doing that. And he's like, I bet you can do it. I challenge you to do it. And I'm like, I don't think I can do it. But
So Jellybean just told Danie that the tree story stuck with her.
Oh. I
Yeah.
just hit the
It's a really good compliment.
Thank you so much. Yeah, seriously, that's like, so for me, I first came into this, I didn't think I was gonna write my own stuff. I've always written before, but it's always been very personal and something I don't share with people. So I decided, my husband has read my stuff and he's like, you should really just start writing more horror stuff for your channel, like try it out. So with that support, I kind of just like went on the fly and I just wrote that story out of nowhere. And then, I don't know, all of my creative juices have been flowing lately and I've been writing a lot more, which has been awesome. But I really appreciate that compliment because, like I said, like writing to me is much more nerve-wracking than narrating. So it's always really good to hear that feedback.
I've got the opposite. Writing to me is easier than narrating. But I was the kid that was scared to read out loud in class.
Yeah, I've always been like a drama kid and choir, singing, everything like that. So for me, performing has always been my natural thing. And even for school, like when I didn't finish, but I was going for media broadcasting, I wanted to be like a entertainment reporter or something in that field. So I went on to learn radio and be on TV channels and things like that for school. And it was always something that I really loved. So, you know, writing for me was just something personal that I used as a creative outlet. But now that I'm doing this, I feel like myself. Like, you know, it's really fun just putting yourself out there, but also very scary because the internet can be a mean place.
Yeah. A little bit of difference though, because and this is kind of funny because if I could get behind a microphone and sing, I was fine. Or if I was acting, I was fine. But asked me to sit in a chair and read out of a book, could I not do this? You know?
You never had a problem with that.
I
was always the one that got called on to read.
Oh, I got called on, but I was scared because I didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I was only like that for math class. If they called on me and asked me like a times table question or something, I'd like bury my head because I'm not very good at math.
Right, I suck at math. But I kind of went through trial with fire with my writing for my stories. Because the first story that I had ever had narrated on here was what Filia did. But then like my very next story was done by Creepy Ghost Stories, who had over 100K subscribers at that point. So when I didn't get ripped apart by that on YouTube, I'm like, apparently I don't suck, I suppose.
Yeah.
We were all telling him that and pushing him and kicking him in the butt, but he didn't listen to us. You know?
Yeah, I really enjoy your stories, PA. Like honestly, they're really good. And it is, like I said, it is definitely hard sometimes just putting yourself out there, putting your own work out there. But also I get nervous when I'm reading for like a writer that I really enjoy their writing. So like for instance, I just did, like I said, the novella Cheater, and like I actually became pretty good friends with Scott Donnelly, who is the author of that. But when I first did his first story, which was I'll Give Birth to the End of Mankind, I was so nervous because I really loved that story and I wanted to do it justice, but then he liked it so much he had asked me to read his novella, and now I'm also doing 2 more stories of his for October. So it was just, I guess I just psych myself out sometimes, but you know, you gotta have a little bit of confidence, which I'm learning.
We got my boy HR in the house. What's going on, Harry?
Hi, there's Harry. We've also got
Cody.
And we got Cody. What's going on, bro?
Creepy Cody.
And Ray.
Cody is one of my best internet
Ray's
friends.
here too.
And we got my Ray. My Ray's here, so now I have my Jelly Bean and my Ray.
got the
Yeah.
whole
Do you-
family here.
I got my emotional support writers.
When you're and you said you're creative, which of my stories is my favorite and why? Or no, which of her stories is her
Which
favorite?
is her for? Yeah,
Yeah.
he's addressing her
Her.
questions to you, so we will
Okay.
see them.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
okay.
He's doing what I told him to.
Which of your stories are your favorite and why?
Okay, so I really enjoyed the Taking Tree, to be honest with you. I just felt like it had a cool concept behind it. But also that was a hard one because I really did like Bloody Mary. I think I'm gonna say Bloody Mary for this one. So I did a Bloody Mary story, just taking a twist on a classic. What I did was I kind of brought Bloody Mary into the 21st century and just kind of used her coming through a cell phone basically and like terrorizing this girl. So I really like that story, and actually I feel like that one I didn't overthink. Some of my stories I really overthink, and I felt like that one I wrote it like literally as I was about to go to sleep, and 5 minutes before I went to sleep, it like this idea popped in my head. I took out my phone, I just started typing, and I finished the story in like maybe 25-30 minutes, and then recorded it the next day, and it got pretty good reviews from people who are listening. So I would say for right now my favorite story is Bloody Mary. The Shy one was pretty good too, but I've gotten some feedback on that some of the parts didn't make sense. So now I'm kind of like, I kind of hate that story now, but it's okay.
But the thing is, it's sometimes what doesn't make sense to one person makes sense to another.
Yeah, well, that was my thing too, because when the person said like, oh, you should have left this part out because it didn't make sense, I was like, but I don't know how it wouldn't have made sense. Like in my head anyway, that's how it was. But then my husband was kind of like, I can see, like, he's always kind of the moderator. He's like, okay, I can see where his comment made sense, that it didn't fit in with the story. So I was like, yeah, I guess I can see that too. But I liked the Shy one. But I think my favorite would be Bloody Mary. And I did a live reading on my Instagram of it, and a lot of people enjoyed it. So I might do a live reading of another story on my Instagram. Not Instagram, but my YouTube once I figure out how to. No, I think I know how to do live now. I'll probably do a live eventually. That was up to them. Sorry, that was a lot of rambling.
That's okay. That's okay. Well, we told you that was fine.
In fact, the collab me and Danie did together has both the Taking Tree and Bloody Mary in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Hey, what's up, Gamma?
Yeah, hey Gamma. Just
Hi, Gamma.
bringing up Bloody Mary. How have you ever actually played Bloody Mary?
I have. So that's kind of where the story came from, because when like part of the story I say, like, you know, when we were younger we would play it just to try to scare each other during sleepovers, which is true. Every time I went to a sleepover when I was little.
Is this a paranormal story? It's like a real paranormal story?
I never actually saw her, but I mean, we did play the game and nothing weird happened, which I was kind of disappointed. But we would freak each other out during the night. Like if one of the girls went to sleep, we would just like, you know, spook her, like try to wake her up and be like, oh, Bloody Mary's here. But I definitely have other paranormal stories that are real. But unfortunately, I never did see Bloody Mary. Well, I guess fortunately for me, I didn't see
Right.
Right?
So speaking of childhood games, have you ever played the stiff as a light as a feather, stiff as a board?
Oh, absolutely. Of course. I
did.
never floated, but
I never
Oh, that's a
even-
girl sleepover standard.
it is, yeah.
Like me and my cousins played it. We would go in the basement and do it, and it actually worked for us. And it was like, and apparently there are some like supernatural connotations behind that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that and
yeah.
the Ouija board. Like if you had that, the Ouija board, and Bloody Mary game, you were set as a third grader in my school.
Charlie.
Listen. I will never touch a Ouija board. Those things,
No.
like, no, thank
No.
you. Just absolutely not.
Yeah, but
That's one thing I didn't ever partake in, to be honest with you, because as much as I love all things paranormal, I was also pretty smart as a child, I'd like to think, and just knowing like messing with that stuff, for me personally wasn't something I wanted to deal with. So, but my friends would I had a downstairs neighbor, because we lived in a 2-family. And she would always come upstairs to my sister and be like, "Hey, you want to play with the Ouija board?" And my sister and I were like, "No, thank you, we're good." But this
Oh,
girl was I don't know.
oh my
Ray,
God,
if that
Ray
would
just
work, I would be
Ray just
sitting here doing it forever.
right. Ray just says, "I heard that if you say Candyman several times in the mirror, then you'll get to see the movie sooner."
I think
But
I've probably said Candyman 150 some odd times in the mirror, and it's never worked, unfortunately. You know.
but just growing up where I have, because it's common knowledge that I live near Gettysburg. Like, my family was like, you want my cousins were like, you want to use a Ouija board? I'm like, if you use that Ouija board in my presence, I will straight into your life, because I am not being hunted by no damn demon. Okay. If that thing says Zozo, you're like, I'm not touching that planchette. If that thing says Zozo, I'm out. You're dead. Okay.
Well, here's the thing, and I think that I okay. There's no such thing as Zozo. Maybe a demon using that because it has now become popular.
Oh no, it's definitely a demon using it. It's not its demon's real name. The demon's not going to give you its real name.
Because Zozo was made up by somebody who misread Led Zeppelin's guitar.
Plus,
was supposed to be Zuzu, but
plus no demon's just going to straight give you their name. You got power over them if you do.
It gives you power over them, and they're not going to do that. But I don't know. You guys have, well, Danie hasn't, but I think PA and Filia and some of the rest of you have heard my story about the Ouija dream, and the reason why I'll never touch a Ouija board.
Mia. Yeah, let's let Danie tell her paranormal stories.
Oh, okay, that's fun.
Which ones?
Any of them she wants to tell us.
Yeah. So I guess I'll tell the story. Okay. So actually, before that, a few nights ago, I was recording, and I don't know what I caught on my audio, but I definitely caught something, and I was freaking out because it literally sounded like a voice, and it wasn't me. Like, it was not me reading or anything, because it was completely silent. And the scary thing was that I had done the noise reduction for the background already, and the noise was still there. So wow. I was really freaked out by that. I have it recorded. I was going to post it to my Discord, but the video wouldn't upload, but I have it saved. I'm not crazy. I don't think I'm crazy. I'm just like, but at the same time, like, well, this is a brand new house, so how is a spirit coming in? But whatever, we don't know. I just have a crossover here just in case. But that was really.
I have an answer.
The land.
The land's not brand new.
Yeah, that's what my husband and I were talking about. Actually, I have it. Let me see if I can play the sound. I have saved it. So, let's see.
Zool. Not Zool. Zool.
Zool.
Can't tell any of us the original Ghostbusters at all. Yeah.
Right.
Zool. I am gatekeeper.
Sorry, just trying to find it because
that's okay.
I'll keep your gate.
But it was like really freaky, and I was just like, why are you doing this to me? But even my husband heard it, and he was like, what are you bringing in? Like, what did you do?
It did it on its own.
Well, that's another thought, is that the more you talk about it, the more you get into it, the more you think about it, the more it presents itself.
Yeah. Okay, so I have 3 different clips of it, so I'll play. Here, let me put my volume up.
Hopefully we can hear it.
Yeah. Let's see. Did you hear that?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that... let's see this one, maybe.
Yes, right. Because PA Nightmare quotes are good.
Okay, maybe it won't come through, but I can send it to whoever wants to hear it. But it was actually really freaky. And I stopped recording that night. I was like, okay, I'm done recording for the night, and I just went downstairs. But yeah.
So were you recording a story when that happened, or?
Yeah, I was recording a story, and it's like, I thought, okay, it's probably just feedback or something. But then when like I said, I silenced the audio, and it was still coming through. So I'm like, this is really strange. I sent it to another one of my narrator friends, and he was like, you have to be effing with me. He's like, are you serious? Like, that sounds like a voice, like somebody like was saying something to you. So he thought I was joking. I was like, I'm not joking. I'm freaking out, like about to cry right now because I'm scared. So,
I wish we could figure out how to play that clip if you sent it to Mia.
Let's see.
So Danie, I was actually recording, and I had something pop up on like the very beginning of the audio whenever I was waiting for it to to get my like little silence in. And I like isolated it, and it like there's something that said mad, and I'm like, oh, one of the spirits is angry tonight. Okay.
Are you mad and you don't want me to record? Is that it?
Yeah, for real. It was like, what is going on? But I guess one story for sure that I know was one of the freakiest things that ever happened to me. Pretty much, thinking back now, as I just said before about the girl who lived downstairs from us who always wanted to play with the Ouija board, it kind of makes sense that house was haunted. Because, no, like, seriously, like, she would always want to play with the Ouija board, and I know she would bring her friends into the basement, because we shared the basement, because that's where our laundry was, so her family had one side and we had the other, and there was this really creepy room in the basement, and there was also a really creepy room in the attic. So, going back to the basement, like I said, we had our laundry down there. So one day I had to do my laundry, and I was going down there, and the way the steps were, they were very steep, and like if you even missed a step, you would like fall and like crack your neck open or crack your head open. It was it was scary. Yeah, it was scary. I hated going down there. It just gave me the heebie-jeebies. I hated it, but I had to do the laundry. So I went down there, and I was on one of the last steps and like where it curved, and I felt myself falling, and I almost fell, and I kid you not, something grabbed me and like pulled me back, because if I fell, honestly, don't know that I would be here today. And it was the strangest thing, because it's like I felt someone literally grab me, like tug me back, and it was the weirdest experience I've ever had in that house. But my sister had come to visit me a few weeks ago, and I kind of just like casually, we were talking about the Conjuring house and like the Amityville horror house, and I was like, hey, like, the house on 49 Prospect that we used to live at? And she's like, oh, that place was haunted. And like we never discussed it as kids or anything, because she's older than me, but she's a lot more sensitive and scared than I was more of the braveling, I guess, in the family. So I didn't want to scare her and be like, hey, did you hear that? But there were nights where there would just be knocking, and we lived on the second floor, so we were on the top floor, and it always sounded like there were footsteps upstairs, which was the attic. And she told me like the exact time, like she said to me a few weeks ago when she was here, like, yeah, there was always like footsteps and banging. I used to hate going to the basement. I used to hate going in the attic. And she's like, and that room, because there was a room in the attic, and I tried to make it my little clubhouse, like for me and my friends to hang out in. But every time I went up there, I was scared. Like I just had this really bad feeling about it. So one time I remember we had our Christmas decorations in there, and we had a fake tree, and the tree was it was on one side of the room. I remember distinctively putting it there. And then I go upstairs the next day to clean out the clubhouse a little bit more and like put a no boy sign or something stupid like that. And the tree was on the opposite side. And I freaked out, and I like never wanted to go back in that attic again. So I told my friends, like, yeah, we're not going to have a clubhouse. We'll just play outside or whatever. But she had told me the same thing, like she would go upstairs and things would be moved in that room all the time. And I thought she was messing with me when we were younger because I remember going downstairs and being like, stop moving stuff in my clubhouse. You're not allowed up there. And, so discussing it as adults and not feeling like I was actually crazy, that was a good thing because I didn't realize that she had similar experiences too.
I hear that a lot in some people where they families are in one household and they're each having their own experiences, but they don't talk about them with the other people because they think they're going to be thought of as being crazy.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And then years later, hey, you remember blah 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 blah? Oh yeah, da 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 da. This happened to me too. And oh wow, I didn't think
So
it was
I'm not-
happening to anybody but me.
So I'm not
Yeah.
crazy.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's like pretty much what happened. And it was just weird because I remember also like I never remembered sleepwalking, but my sister had told me a story about how I was sleepwalking one night and I like literally climbed because we had bunk beds and I climbed up to the top of her bunk bed and I was just talking weird and she had no idea what was going on and she was scared as anything. I don't remember it, but she said she remembers it very vividly. And that like freaked me the F out when she told me that because I was like, I don't remember that. I was like, are you sure you weren't dreaming maybe? And she's like, no, I remember it. I was so scared. I remember like screaming and getting mom and dad because you were freaking me out. And then apparently I just like went back down to my bed, like my bottom bunk, and just like went back to sleep.
That's
So-
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I could have just been sleepwalking. You never know.
Any other paranormal?
Not that I can think off the top of my head. Maybe I know, like, you were saying you're about Gettysburg, PA. I remember I went there in 8th grade for like our 8th grade trip, and just nothing like really happened or anything. But there was just when I went to the battlefield, there was just so much energy there, like
Oh,
so
yeah.
much. It was definitely the same energy I felt when I went to Salem because Salem, oh my goodness, like that place,
Dude,
you just
that's-
walk in, you automatically just feel like kind of drained a little bit, I guess was the feeling that I got. But I feel like I'm like definitely an empath and so whenever like I feel like I really feel feelings. So that was going to Salem and Gettysburg were my two biggest like, wow, this is really draining. I feel so tired and sad for no reason.
Yeah.
So I remember when you said that you were pulled off that step, right?
Yes.
Or pulled back onto the step.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I was on camera in Discord, and I was talking, and the next thing you know, you just see something yank me backwards. Like Filia and Mia were there, just
Mhm.
watched it.
Mhm.
And it's one of the ghosts in our house just decided it wanted to say hi and grabbed a hold of my shirt collar and yanked me backwards.
Yep.
Oh my God. When was this?
About
Couple
a
months
year
ago?
ago.
No,
shit.
it was
a
like
while
5 or 6
ago.
months ago. Yeah, it was, but yeah, it just. And then I turned around and just yelled at it and told me to leave me the fuck alone because I was talking to my friend and it just left.
Weren't you wearing a hoodie? Didn't it grab you by the
Yes.
hoodie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just
Okay.
straight up just yanked my ass backwards.
So Jellybean asks, if you're home alone and you heard a fart, would you laugh or be scared?
Home Alone.
Maybe both.
I would probably both. Like one, I would probably look at one of my animals because I have 3. So like they always fart. So I'd probably just be like, oh, Anakin, or oh, Miss Megatron, or oh, Queen Emmy. But if none of them were in the room with me, I'd probably laugh and be like, oh, ghost in the house, and then be like, oh shit, ghost in the house, and then
Oh, ghost in the house.
Oh, ghost in
God,
the
you
house.
smell like death.
I'm not sure. M. Night Shyamalan, movie
Shum-a-dum-dum-dum-dum.
genius, movie genius, or one trick pony, and why?
That's a hard one. Okay, I had this conversation with my husband a few weeks ago, actually. So I really loved Split by him. The thing about it is, like, I don't know, I didn't see Old, but I heard really bad reviews about it. And I feel like it's like a hit or miss with him. I don't know. Sixth Sense, I did very much enjoy that movie.
When I finally saw it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel like it's definitely like Signs. Wasn't one of my favorites, but I would say after seeing Split and just, I don't know, I think.
See Lady in the Water.
Yeah,
that was a good one. It actually got bad reviews, but it was a really good movie, I thought.
See, that's that's a thing, like, with movie reviews. It's just everybody has their own opinion on movies, so I just like seeing them and going in with, like, a fresh perspective. Like, Old has kind of, like, I've heard so many bad reviews about Old, but I honestly, I want to watch it and, like, put my own perspective on it. But, Unbreakable, yeah.
Isn't Split that one about with the guy with, like the multiple personalities?
Yeah. Like,
I loved that movie until the ending. I thought the ending just ruined that movie.
Yeah, I mean, James McAvoy, I feel like he made the movie. I mean, he's just such a great actor. So for me, it was just kind of like, I looked past that because it was just, Patricia was pretty much a star of the show. Or Hedwig, was it Hedwig? Or the, yes.
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah, I forget, but I remember I loved that movie up until the ending, and I'm just like, why? You just ruined this perfectly amazing movie.
Well, The Village, it was like I was good until the end, and then I was like, okay, that's weird. I'm not sure what. I'm not sure now.
I kind of hated. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but The Happening. I don't know. It wasn't. He did The Happening. Yeah, he did The Happening.
Well, like I said, it's a. You said it. It's a hit or miss with him. You either like it or you don't like it. It's
either this is amazing or
like when a new movie comes out from him, I do get excited. I will say that because I feel like he has such a. He has such a crazy mind, I feel like. So I do like seeing what he comes up with, but sometimes the endings are just, no, man. Like, why did you have to end it that way? But,
it's like this was beautiful up until right now, and then now I no longer care about this movie or its existence.
This was a good movie until you told me it was water.
Yeah. Oh, and Ray, yes, I have the high ground. Anakin, don't try it. There, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, you have no idea how many times I've used that reference in my house with that dog because, like, our cats and him are just so funny together. But
you just can't take Anakin around the younglings. That's all. It's fine.
Oh no, not the younglings. He's a Padawan right now. I would say he's about to be 1, so I guess he's not really a puppy anymore. But he's so cute. He's seriously, like, him and my cats are like my heart. Like, obviously I love my husband, but they're just my babies. I love them so much.
Oh yeah, they are your babies.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Wahlberg running from the wind. Movie over.
Yeah. The acting was so bad. Like, I remember. So there is actually this really funny YouTuber that I watch. Her name is Jamie French, and she does like movie reviews of like movies from like the 2000s and the 90s, pretty much like 2000s, and she did The Happening, and I didn't realize how bad the movie was until she like put it into like slow-mo, or she like added a scene. Like, she's really funny. You guys should check her out. But when she did The Happening, I was like, wow, this movie does really suck. Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
There's another channel, and I can't remember the name of the channel, but she does like recuts of trailers for movies, and she'll do one like horror or drama, and she does like 8 of them at a time, and then she just puts them up back to back. And she did Harry Potter as a horror movie. She did Harry Potter as a romance comedy, Harry Potter as a drama, Harry Potter as a thriller, Harry Potter as a mystery, it's not just Harry Potter. I mean, she's done Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and she's and Star Trek and Star Wars, and anything she can get her hands on, she recuts it so that you see different parts of it, and it really shows that it is in the editing. It is in, how they cut it up and put it on the screen. It really does show that.
Yeah, it's oh man, like I really enjoy like when YouTubers are like super creative like that. With Jamie French, she's a comedian as well. So what she does is she'll edit herself into the movie and like she'll do it as like she'll do a funny character and she'll like make different voices and she's pretty hilarious. I put her name in there just in case anyone wants to watch her. Yeah.
I'm not seeing any more questions in there.
No, I've got one. Okay. Oh, are you looking in the...
yeah, I was looking in the chat. There's not one right now.
Okay. So what is your favorite genre of horror? Like slasher or the mind fuck kind of...
I'm just going to take from the personality I know Danie.
Yeah.
From Danny's personality, I'm gonna say she's more of a psychological person.
Yeah, that's the one I was going for. Psychological. Psychological. Same thing.
I love psychological, but my absolute favorite, is gonna have to be paranormal. Just like haunted houses, like Amityville Horror is one of my favorites. But I guess that is kind of psychological as well. But for the most part, like the Conjuring universe, my absolute favorite. I love movies like that. But yeah, psychological too. The thing with me is when I watch psychological movies and they end on like kind of like you have to make up your own ending or kind of, that in your head, it will bother me for weeks. Like there was that one movie that I saw, it was called Saint Maud. And it was kind of like determining it, like, I don't want to give away the ending, but basically it's like, was she crazy or, was this stuff really happening to her? And like those type of movies like that always make me think too hard. And when I watch movies, I kind of want to escape from my mind. So psychological movies, I have to really be in the mood to watch. But when it's something like paranormal, I'll just put on like The Conjuring or what's another good one? What else have I been watching lately? Oh, The Poltergeist. I watched that the other day. The Exorcist. Movies like that I really into.
One from the early 80s, I think. Early 80s, called The Entity. Has Barbara Hershey in it.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
If you haven't seen that, you need to find it.
I will watch that. I have not seen that yet. The Entity. Okay.
I read the book first.
Oh.
And they did a pretty good job. I mean, obviously the book was more in depth, and it's supposed to be based on a true story.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
After they made the movie, the family would not talk about it anymore. They're like, we're done.
Yeah, they weren't.
Our story.
They weren't actually happy with the movie.
Yeah.
And another, I would also. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, what?
Oh no, I was gonna say also, I forgot found footage movies. I love found footage movies like VHS.
Blair Witch.
Yeah. Yes. There was the VHS series that I watched and Hell House. Those are two of the best found footage series I've ever seen. They're movies, but they're like different.
Like Hell House. I don't know why. I just can't get enough of Hell House.
Yeah, it was so. Host is really good. Yeah, Jelly Bean. That was, and Ray said, "Have you seen Host? If not, would be perfect for you following." Yes, Host is a very good one.
The little bitty alien that goes in the back of their head. It's like
it's another Stephanie Myers. Stephanie Myers. It's another Stephanie Myers. It's getting away from the Twilight stuff, that.
Yeah.
Definitely The Entity. It's definitely 80s, old school.
Nice.
But
yeah.
It will mess with you.
Was a really good one. Hair-raising narratives. That was one of my favorites too.
What's that?
Wreck.
Another found footage film.
Yeah, it's
nice.
really Rec. Actually, they've got more than one now. But it is really a good series.
There was one that I watched on, I think it was Amazon Prime a few weeks ago. It was Bad Ben, and that one was actually pretty good. It's like this guy, he moves into a house and sets up cameras, and all this stuff starts happening. So, it's definitely found footagey, and like you don't get the best views of everything. It's like, oh no, and like something flies across the room. So it had pretty good jump scares in there. I have to watch the other ones. I saved them for later. Also VHS, yeah. Absolutely. Yes, I did see that one when they're like, is that the one when they're on the Zoom call with the psychic? I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
I think that one. Hello, Lizzie.
Hey, Lizzie, what's going on?
Hey, Lizzie.
We both saw her at the same time. Like you were saying, the psychologicals make you think too much. Like at the ending, and it made me think of at the end of Rosemary's Baby. I want to see in the crib. I want to see the baby.
Yeah.
Like every time I watch it, I'm like, let me see the baby. I know they're not going to let me see it, but let me see the baby. I want to see the baby.
Well, and so many people swear that you do get to see the baby.
You never get to see the baby in that movie.
You never get to see the baby.
Yes.
But that movie was so terrifying when it first came out.
Honey, that movie still terrifies me today.
Yeah, that movie really messed.
My mom would not let me watch that movie until I was 17 years old.
Really?
And it was 20 some years old at that point. But still today, if I watch it, it scares me. It terrifies me. I get the chillies.
Yeah. I like to say, I call it the heebie-jeebies. I say that all the time now, because like sometimes when I'm reading a story, I was like, ooh, this gives me the heebie-jeebies. I like this one.
Yeah.
Children of the Corn is still one of my favorite horror movies of all time.
Yeah. I rewatched that a few weeks ago, the original one. It was on Amazon Prime.
Linda Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
And it's funny because I didn't realize Linda Hamilton was in that. And I fell in love with
Terminator.
I fell in love with her from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, from the TV show.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, who did not love Lionel? Oh no, Vincent. It was Vincent.
Lionel. I'm not watching Thundercats right now.
I said Lionel. There was one of those whose name was Lionel.
But right, for Barry. He wasn't allowed to watch Exorcist till I was 16. My parents never let me watch Exorcist. I had to wait until I moved out of the house.
That one was scary. Like, to this day, I think that one still will give me nightmares if I watch it. That's one of the very few movies that I actually get terrified of. The Poltergeist, I rewatched it, like I said, a few weeks ago, and I remember it being a lot scarier when I was younger, but I guess because I was younger. But now, like, if I watch The Exorcist again, which I have a few years ago, I was terrified. I was like, okay, this movie really does freak me out.
If you had one film that you could watch for the rest of your life, and only one, which one would it be?
Oh, any genre or horror film?
I believe he's saying just one film.
Oh,
any
okay.
Genre.
Okay, I'm gonna say. Shoot, that is a hard one.
Ray's kicking him out today.
Yeah, he is. I think I would have to go with Elvira because she's literally one, like, I think she's probably the one who got me into being like my weird little self. Nice. From a very early age, I've always loved her. I admired her. I thought she was so cool.
She's a gorgeous woman inside and out, and she's brilliant.
I know, and her book is coming out, I think October 10th or October 11th, I believe.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But she is brilliant. She is, I mean...
It's kind of my comfort movie, so I do watch it multiple times a month. So, I mean, I would have to go with Elvira. I never get sick of it. I could probably recite the lines if I had to, but
Well, I remember watching her hosting movies,
yes,
and I never got tired of it. You were watching the movie, but you were watching for her as well.
right, exactly. Yeah.
You know, and my husband's met her at a con, and she's just as down to earth and personable as you would ever think she was, and just like everybody else, you know, but she's so smart. I mean, the woman is not stupid.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah.
She's got degrees, guys. and, and he's over here going, red hair. Yeah, the black hair is a wig, guys.
Yeah, she has red hair naturally.
But
Yes,
the
she does.
boobs are real. The boobs are real.
The boobs are real.
Ooh la la.
My husband's over here got to testify to that.
So, you're throwing a dinner party, and you're going to invite 5 guests from the horror, any horror, movies, books, our horror community, writers, directors, actors, characters,
Living or dead.
anything, living or dead, real, make believe, whatever. Who would you invite?
Okay, let's see. And how many? How many people can I invite?
Five.
Okay. I would have to say Ed and Lorraine Warren for sure. I mean, that's 2 people, right? That's not one person. It's 2 people. They take up 2
Yeah,
seats.
okay. We'll get
We'll allow it as one because
Okay.
We'll have the Warrens as one.
Okay, all right, the Warrens. Definitely Elvira, obviously, because she's like heart mistress of the park. Alcide from True Blood, because Wolfman, like he's my favorite. Sorry, Tom, husband. Sorry. And Mary Shelley. I would love to pick her brain.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
And I would say Dracula, just because
Ooh.
I would just want to meet him.
But there's so many different Draculas.
Yeah, maybe
Dracula from the book, Dracula like
I
Lon
would
Chaney's
say
Dracula, Bela Lugosi's Dracula.
yeah, I was gonna say the Bela Lugosi Dracula,
Okay.
just because he's kind of like the
It's like to
original.
meet Bela
Yeah.
Lugosi. Period.
Yeah, it'd be cool to meet them and just kind of talk. But Mary Shelley for sure. I would just love, like, 'cause I watched the movie on her. I read Frankenstein, and I'm just like, she was such a brilliant woman for her time. So I would really love to just sit down with her.
And she had such a tragic life.
Like, she really did. I know,
Yeah.
and it just, but it was,
Yeah.
it brought out Frankenstein, so it was pretty amazing. She,
Well, you look at what came out of that weekend.
yeah,
You had
with,
The Vampire
yep,
by I can't say his name. And then you had Frankenstein came out, and yeah, Frankenstein's kind of overshadowed the Vampire, which I actually found a copy of. I'm going to put it on my channel one of these days. But it kind of overshadowed it. Nobody paid attention to it because of Frankenstein. But there was so much tragedy happened after that weekend with each of those people.
Mhm.
And it's just like, you have to wonder if there was something else going on there, that spiritual wise.
Yeah. The movie Gothic
Yeah, that's a good movie.
with oh god, Liam Neeson's wife that died, Natasha Richards.
Yes, Natasha Richards.
Natasha Richards. And The rest of them I couldn't even tell you. That was a good movie.
And the thing is, I see, and we've got millions of Frankenstein movies as well. But in my mind, and I know this is going to sound screwed up, in my mind, I see the monster more like Victor in The Bride. That had Sting, and I can't remember who played Victor. Victor was the monster.
No,
Yeah.
Victor is Dr. Frankenstein's name.
But
Victor
they are
Frankenstein.
Is it Victor or Vincent? They named the monster in that movie at the end of the movie.
Oh, okay.
And you see the monster going through all this stuff, and then you see what's going on with the bride, and I know that's not the way it was originally presented, but to me, that's more like what it should have been depicted as in my head. My head's nuts.
There's a movie, Frankenstein Unbound.
That's a good one too.
We're talking about all these original monsters, and still probably my favorite monster in the universe is still the freaking xenomorphs. Those little alien bastards are awesome.
I saw their creator's house. There was a and it was in German. There was an interview with him, and they went through his house, and he had so many different things that he had created, and I'm going, how do you keep track of all these things? He knew where everything was. And to me, it all just looked like one big conglomerate of stuff. You know? But he could go, this is this, and it goes here, and this is this, and it goes here, you know? Who would win the battle if it went down? Ed or Lorraine, and why? Well,
I mean, I feel like it might be Ed, just because, like, you see how drained Lorraine gets, like, when a spirit enters her body, or, like, when she's, you know, being clairvoyant and stuff, and I think, like, she gets too drained. So I would say Ed in that situation. Maybe he's got the muscle. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to pick Lorraine, but, you know. I like her more.
Oh, me too. But
the actors they got to play them in the movies for the Conjuring universe, I love those two actors.
Yeah.
Oh, me too. I love, and she was in Bates Motel. She was so good as Norma, like,
yes,
so
she
good.
was.
Yeah.
I
don't like some of the twists they put in that, but it was good.
It was a good show. Another good show that they canceled was The Exorcist. They had it on, I think it was Fox or NBC. I'm not sure, but it was a very good movie, and show. And
I loved that show.
Like, they cancel all the good shows, I feel like.
Did you watch Hannibal at all?
I didn't, no.
I loved that show too. It used to be on Netflix. I'm not sure if it is anymore or not, but I really enjoyed that show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check real quick, see if it's still on Netflix.
I picked the unpopular opinion of Ed. Everyone's like, it's Lorraine.
Well, see, in my mind, I'm thinking, you know, Ed was a demonologist, and if it's not a demon, he's kind of stuck.
That's true. Yeah, that makes sense.
He kind of doesn't have a.
Taking on that note, he knows that Lorraine gets weak. So if they were going to do a battle, it would do him well to make sure it's in someone that's very haunted. That way, she was getting drained.
Yeah, that's true.
There's the link that I told you about earlier, Danie. I put it in the Traveler's Tavern chat.
Awesome. Thank you. Oh, Cody had a question. Who would win in this fight, Satan or
Cthulhu?
I would say, these are hard questions, guys, but I would say Satan, because he's like king of the underworld, right? So it's like,
Well, I think
yeah.
I think Satan too, because I'm thinking he shifts. He's a shifter.
yeah,
So even if Cthulhu's got tentacles, he can outdo the tentacles.
yeah, it's true. Speaking
But,
of
but
Satan,
Cthulhu is supposed to be a cosmic god, as opposed to just a single planetary god. So I don't know. Cthulhu's got some tricks up their sleeve that we don't know about.
yeah.
Maybe.
Is anyone watching Lucifer right now? It just started.
I'm on the last season.
I watched the first several seasons, like 5 seasons or something, and then really got bored with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
My husband
I
wants me to
can't get
watch
bored with. I can't get bored with that show for the same reason I can't get bored with Supernatural. The freaking dude playing Lucifer is just too good.
Yeah, I know. I literally love Tom Ellis. Like, actually, if I had a 6th person, I would invite him to dinner too. Maybe you know what? Scratch that. Alcide. Nah, he's irrelevant. We'll put Lucifer in there.
Since Danny can have 2, I'm gonna take the package deal. One of my peoples would be the Winchesters.
Yes, that's a good one too.
Jelly Bean, you will.
There's a spider on my ceiling. Who's going to win? Me or the spider?
P.S.
I say you got this.
You
Take
got
the
this.
shoe.
I say you take yourself out of the equation and you just bring fire into the equation, and then the fire wins.
Okay, I've got a 2-parter for you.
Okay.
2-part question. First is, you were really, really bad and you ended up in the Traveler's Tavern jail and you're going to be put to death. But we will provide you with your last meal of anything you want. And the second part of that is, we will also give you a very nice burial, and who would you want to read your eulogy? So, what's your last meal? And who's going to read your eulogy?
Okay.
Cheesecake. I'll put a spoon in it so you can dig your way out.
I like that question, Bray.
That's a really good question. Okay. Let's see. I would say, well, for the eulogy part, I would want my husband to read it. And then, for my last meal, that's hard because I love food so much. So trying to pick my last meal.
If Eo's still here, I know he would say tacos.
Or steak.
Or steak.
Or steak tacos.
I think I would say a 45-day dry-aged ribeye and potatoes and mashed potatoes, garlic mashed potatoes, and mac and cheese as a side, as my sides.
What about your dessert?
Oof.
Yeah,
like a triple chocolate cake.
All right, that's where I'll put the spoon so you can dig your way out.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Cool.
You are possessed by...
Wait, she didn't answer the eulogy part.
Yes, she said her
I did that
husband.
first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear that part. All right.
You are possessed by 2 ghosts. One is incredibly loud 24 hours a day, but they clean your house. The other ghost is the ghost of a murderer, but he has a heart of gold. Who do you get rid of and why?
I would say, because I'm a narrator, I cannot have noise in my house 24/7. So I would go with the ghost of the murderer because, I mean, it sucks that he's a ghost of a murderer, but if he's nice and has a heart of gold and he's not loud, I would take him over the one. But then again, that guy cleans your house, but I don't want to give up narrating, so.
But yeah, I'm choosing to get rid of the loud ghost because literally fuck that noise.
I would choose the loud ghost because I narrate in the garage.
I have, yeah. My recording area is in my house, so. I mean, it's kind of soundproof, but. No, I'm gonna go with the. He would clean my house, though. Damn, that's a hard one.
It's the hard one.
That's exactly. I record outside in a detached garage. Which would
the
you
merits of
rather?
a clean house cannot be underrated. I love it.
Right.
Which would you rather? A tail, having a tail, or losing a leg?
Having a tail.
That's an easy one. Like, no one wants
It
to
has
lose a
to be
bloody leg.
prehensile.
Just about everybody is
It has to be
gaining a
prehensile.
tail,
But
right?
so I got one for you, Danny. So we're now living in a world where our circumstances have vastly been
Oh
changed.
my gosh.
Flying alligators and crocodiles are now roaming the earth. How do you think humanity would fare, and why?
Okay. So there's alligators and crocodiles roaming
And
the
they
earth.
can fly.
And they can fly. I feel like that's like apocalyptic stuff, and I don't think humanity would fare too well. I feel like it would kind of be like The Walking Dead, but instead of zombies, it would be alligators.
Well, I told you about what happened down here after.
You'd hear this. You'd hear this. You're like, what's that? And you just literally watch this crocodile drive by and just take some dude's head off. And you're like, get yours! They're here!
I think they would be noisy flyers.
And
I think they'd be noisy flyers.
Possibly.
Yeah. I mean, I think for the most part, I would hunt and eat them. Because have you ever had alligator or crocodile?
Yes.
Like, yeah, it's actually
it's really
not
good.
bad. It is. Like, if you bread it correctly, it's really good. So I think I'd have a feast with them. Be like,
Well,
okay,
It's like snake.
I didn't have it fried. That's one thing I haven't had it as fried.
oh, I haven't tried it any other way. In Texas, we fry everything. So it's like,
Well, they tell you they fry everything down here in New Orleans, but, you know. Not everything
so-
is
Unless they
fried.
put it in a gumbo.
ooh.
So-
Gumbo is not fried.
That's
So
what I
apparently-
said. Unless they put it in a gumbo, and it's not fried.
Right.
So apparently, I've been asked to go. I think it's time, in the Batman voice for Jelly Bean.
Yeah, it is about time.
It is about time.
I'm Batman.
So, do you have any questions for us, Danie?
I don't. I didn't have anything prepared. I can't
That's
think
okay.
of anything. I would. Let's see. I'll think of a good question. Let's see. Who's your biggest inspiration? Like each of you, who's your biggest inspiration in the horror community and why?
Oh, golly. In the horror community.
Yeah, like narrator, like author, director, producer.
Ooh, mine's a twofer.
Go for it.
Twofer, gopher.
A twofer. Yeah, Madam Raven.
Mm.
I want to be her when I grow up. And Auntie Creeps. Madam Raven because she just has so much style and class.
Mm-hmm.
And Auntie Creeps because she does not have your typical voice, your typical female voice. It's deeper, it's gravelly. She's got more like the Janis Joplin voice.
Oh,
You know?
okay.
Yeah, my mom loved Janis Joplin.
Yeah, the singers of the day had the higher, lighter voice, and then here's Janis Joplin with the whiskey and cigarettes. And I feel like I have more of a voice like that. So, Auntie Creeps in that sense, but Madam Raven because she's just a classic.
I would add Gothic Rose to that trio because
Yes.
she's just got her phrasing and her intonations and the emotions that come through. See, I didn't even know Madame Raven or Auntie Creeps before when I first started. I knew Gothic Rose. And while I say now, I want to be Madame Raven when I grow up, I also want to be Gothic Rose. I guess this is going to sound funny because he's not really part of the horror community, but he does true crime history stuff. Obsolete Oddity, and Your Maker.
Yeah.
And Let's Read and Jensen.
All good ones. What about you, PA?
So one of my
Raven.
biggest inspirations is, of course, my bourbon man, Raven.
Raven.
That boy from the time he started till now has just been on the grind, pumping out daily videos for over a year, and now he puts out like 4 or 5 a week. Writing wise, I have 2 of them. I have Sabian, because that man comes he works a full-time job, 70, 80 hours a week sometimes. Comes home, still pumps out all his own content. And another one of them is currently in the chat. That'd be my buddy, my good buddy Ray.
Right.
That he works a lot and then pumps out like tremendous stories.
And
so
Rando.
like those guys keep me on the grind.
Is Rando in the chat?
No, Rando's not in the chat.
Oh.
But Rando.
But Rando, yeah.
Rando's a fantastic author.
As far as authors are concerned, I can't choose just one. I know he's not very in favor right now, but the first book I read by Orson Scott Card was Worms. And trust me, if that's not a horror book, it may be sci-fi, quote unquote, but that book is a horror book. And then the Dune books, Frank Herbert.
I think sci-fi and horror are in bed with each other.
Well,
really
they are.
Yeah.
Because a lot of sci-fi, I mean, if you think about it, Frankenstein could be considered sci-fi. For the time period. The Time Machine, H.G. Wells, Arthur Conan Doyle. I was the only girl in the school who was checking out the boys' collection of Sherlock Holmes, because girls aren't supposed to read that. And they gave me weird looks. The librarians were like, you sure your parents are okay with you reading that? Yeah, my mom says I can read anything I want.
Yep, my parents were like that too. As long as I was reading, they didn't care. Which is why I got to read Amityville Horror and The Shining and The Stand and, all of those books, The Entity, all of those. Before I ever saw the movies, I had read all the books.
But
if we're going professional writing inspirations, of course, one of my biggest inspirations is J.R.R. Tolkien.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
that's fantasy, and fantasy is part of that threesome too.
Yeah, it can be horror as well. I mean, there are elements in everything you write. There are elements of every genre in my mind.
Yeah, especially Tolkien's fantasy, because that was like darker fantasy. Because you had like the ring wraiths and the orcs and stuff like that. Those creatures were nightmare fuel. Just looking at them on the big screen.
Well, think about the spider.
Oh yeah, that thing. The thing also is nightmare fuel.
Spider Forest.
Yeah, but it's. I hate it when somebody says, "Who's your favorite?" Blah blah blah, because I hate that question. Don't ask me who my favorite.
That's why I like to ask you those questions.
I know.
I didn't say favorite. I said who inspires you.
Right.
But there's so many that inspire us. I mean,
who's your favorite inspiration, Mia?
All right, guys.
I can feel the eye roll.
Guys, we have gone
overtime.
Half an hour over. And we, as much as we love having Danie on, and Danie, we need to have you back, because this has been so fun. And we have so many more questions that we didn't even get to, because we were just chit-chatting so much.
Of them. We never get
We got some of them. We got some of them.
My favorite interviews are when we get to when we get very few questions actually asked, because that just means we're just having way too much fun just talking.
Right. But we definitely need to have you back.
Yes.
Yes, I would love to come back.
Thank you so much for being cool with the reschedule. And everybody in the chat, thank you so much for being here.
I'm so sorry about last week, guys.
Honey, you had no control over it. It was an act of Ira, whoever the hell it was.
Ida.
Ida.
Oh,
Irene,
so
Ira.
this has nothing to do with Ida, but like the other night, like, it started pouring down rain here, and it was just pouring rain, like to the point where when I was driving home, I couldn't see out of my windshield. I get home, I get out of my car, I look at the sky, and there's just lightning is just happening so frequently. The sky literally looks like a giant strobe light.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was insane, and I loved it.
Well,
I was like that video that I took.
Yeah.
That I put on my last video, that second half.
Yeah.
For the Timmy video, that was not sped up.
Wow.
That was as it was happening. That was a 6-minute video, and it was not sped up.
Wow. Okay, so the
hold on, before we go, I have to do this for Ray. It's not who you are underneath. It's what you do that defines you. There, Ray. Just for you, because you asked me to. Yep.
Well, I'm not going to do the commercial because I can't get to it.
And the Traveler's Tavern is a feature of the Nevermore Collective. The Nevermore Collective is a channel that is for anything that you have on your channel you want to do, but it doesn't fit on your channel. Live streaming, videos that are just, not exactly what your channel is into. If you want to do a special birthday show, it doesn't actually fit on your channel, kind of. I'm not sure how that would work, but just saying it. Anything, that doesn't fit your YouTube channel. That's what the Nevermore Collective is for. It is for the community. Raven put together for all of us, and he's supported us. And if you want to join the Nevermore Collective, you can talk to any of us. Raven, PA 42, me, Filia, beautiful Raven, which we all know is Patience. Any of us.
Verb man himself.
The man himself. I need to actually talk to the man. The graphic, and I need to figure out how to do it. But as we
even CCG.
Once you've joined the collective, you can leave.
Nevermore.
Nevermore.